Guess what day it is? It's new toy day, and I am super excited. We are on our way to pick up something that I've never owned before, never thought I would own before, and you see it in the title, you see it in the thumbnail. We are picking up a side-by-side. This is my handicap toy that I will be able to enjoy throughout my recovery process. A lot of you thought I was crazy for getting rid of the KTM and selling off some other dirt bikes, but they're just gonna sit for the next half year or so. So I might as well get some money out of them and use that money to enjoy this new toy. I did a lot of research leading up to this day, and after everything that I found, I think this is the perfect option for us. So today we're gonna be picking up an Arctic Cat Trail. Why the Arctic Cat Trail? Well, for a lot of the places that I'm gonna be riding at, it's still a 50-inch width maximum. So not too much to work with. I didn't want to go Polaris, man. No hate on Polaris, but I just don't want to be working on anything. The Can-Am Maverick Trail is a fantastic option, but I couldn't find any close to me, and they're a little bit more expensive. But everything that I've read about those Arctic Cats, I've read some amazing things, so I want to give it a try. There's not too many good videos out there on them, so I guess this is a good opportunity for me to make some content with it. But I like trying new things, and with all the mods that are done to this specific one, like, I'm super excited. This is the one that I came down to. I was choosing between 3, and I'm paying a little bit more money, but I shouldn't have to do anything for a while. Famous last words. So we've got about an hour drive. Come along with us, and we will see what we end up with. Oh my God, there she is, ladies and gentlemen, the new toy. I hope this thing fits on the trailer. I think it will. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, guys, so it's been about a week, almost 2, since I sold the KTM. And I know a lot of you were asking in the comments what I was gonna get next, and I'd kind of hinted at it that I was gonna get side-by-side. So after much thought and consideration, we ended up with the Arctic Cat Wildcat Trail. Yay! I'm not gonna lie, I'm really happy about this purchase. I know a lot of you probably won't be, but let me just say this. I had to stay in the 50-inch region. The trails that we ride at have a 50-inch requirement, so I really only have a few options to choose from. I could have got the Polaris 800, I could have got the Can-Am Maverick Trail, or this Arctic Cat Wildcat Trail. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had good experiences with Polaris in the past, and things that I've heard about the razors and the reliability with those, I just didn't want to mess with that. Now the Can-Am Maverick Trail was on my list, but those are a lot more expensive than these, and I really couldn't find any good deals on them. But I started doing some research, and I eventually found the Wildcat Trail. And I went through all the forums and got as much information that I could about this thing. And this is what I ended up with, man. People say a lot of good things about these machines, and I figured since there wasn't a lot of content out there about these, that it would be a good chance for me to get one and make it happen. So let's go for a ride. Holy crap. I had like 2 or 3 picked out, but this one was the most decked out, and I really didn't want to have to buy all that stuff separate and put all that kind of money into it, because I really don't plan on keeping this long term, man. As soon as this leg heals, we're getting back on 2 wheels, but in the meantime, I think this thing is going to be a blast, and it's going to be fun to make some content with. So I guess we'll just start from the front and work our way back. The front bumper. This does not come factory. This thing looks awesome. It's super sturdy. It looks aggressive. And right underneath that, we have a winch. And that was a must, especially in my current situation. I really can't do much maneuvering, and for any of these side-by-sides in general, it's just really nice to have. And yes, it does work. We're running the 25-inch Swamp Fox tires, and I don't know if you can notice, probably not, but there are some spacers on these. 2-inch spacers on each side. I don't want to say too much about that because I'm supposed to be staying within the 50-inch limit, but I don't know anything about that. Moving up, we have the full windscreen, and once again, this is something that does not come factory. You can also lift this thing up, and if this thing gets covered in dirt, whatever, you can flip it up and still be able to see, or if it's a nice day and you want some breeze and it's not too dusty. So that's another awesome thing, and especially in the winter when it's cold out, you're not gonna get hit with all that wind, so that was a big deal. And obviously you can see this nice curved light bar up top. I don't know how big, maybe like a 40-inch light bar, but this thing really lights up the night. And it does have headlights, high beam and low beam. They don't do a very good job, so the light bar is super necessary. But under that is the roof. These didn't come with a roof either, so super nice quality. It's just nice to have, man. Keep all the weather off you, and if it starts to rain or just even getting mud and different kind of debris, it just keeps the sun off you. The door handles are in the front here. Boom. I still have a hard time getting into it, but it'll get better every week. See, I just gotta swing my leg up in there, and boom, we are chilling. So when I went to test ride this thing, I didn't have quite as much range of motion as I did now, so I actually had to keep my leg under here because it wouldn't bend anymore, and that's how I had to test drive it, so a little sketchy. Thankfully now I can get it to the side of the pedal here and still be comfortable. It's a 50-inch side-by-side. It's kind of cramped in here. Granted, for most people it's not going to be an issue, but I'm 6'4" with giraffe legs, so it's not the most roomy thing, but for 50-inch, man, I can't complain at all. Like, I'm more than comfortable even in my current situation, so 0 complaints. Other things I can say about the cockpit, I mean, I really enjoy the steering wheel. This is non-power steering, so you got to kind of work at it a bit, but I like the feel. I like the feel of being connected with your drivetrain and just knowing what your tires are going to do, and once you're moving, you really don't notice it as much, so that wasn't a deal breaker for me. You got your lever down here to control what gear you're in. You got park, reverse, neutral, high, and low. This is actually a grab handle for the passenger, so you can hold on to that. And there's also one on the door. But right here, here's all your controls. You got a 12-volt outlet here. We'll definitely be using that to charge some camera batteries and whatnot. I don't know, maybe some heated gloves, some heated gear in the winter. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see, we got our factory lights, the high beam, low beam. We have our differential lock. And obviously you can run 2-wheel drive too, 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive lock. So you can lock the diff, and this is our switch for the light bar. I'll actually turn this on right now so you can see kind of what's going on. Boom! We do have a seatbelt detection, so it won't go over 5 miles an hour unless you have your seatbelt on, which is nice. You should have your seatbelt on. Different indicator lights that we hope to never see. But I'll kind of cycle through some of this stuff. We have our temperature gauge right here. That's what I usually leave it at. Voltmeter, intake air temp. We got a tach, which is nice, and fuel. Up top here we got the clock. RPM gauge as well. Only 281 miles on this machine, so pretty new. It's got 32.5 hours, man. It's nuts. Still a super low hour machine. You got your speedometer, and yeah, that's about it. Other than that, there's a company that makes a bag that goes here that I want to get. Just add some more storage space. Right here we just have this little, glove box, store some stuff. They have these little vents in the windshield down here, but they don't stay shut, so I don't know if something's broke or... Oh, okay. We just figured it out. Just unlock Pandora's box there. You just have to push them in a little bit. So, that is not broken. That is exciting. And the light bar wiring, man, it literally goes down into the frame here, and it is done really well, so... Other than that, we just have this little dinky rear view thing that I'll probably never use, but it's nice to have. We'll just check out the rear end, and that's pretty much it. to top it all off, we got the rear bumper. So front and rear bumpers, this thing is protected, does have tail lights. On top of that, man, another big reason why I wanted the side-by-side was so that I could take Diesel on some adventures. And it has this nice little cargo area. I've already had him in here. He rode in here once and he loved it. So the only thing that I'm going to do is they have a rear bar that comes off here, kind of extends the roll cage, and I think I'll be able to not box him in, but keep him from falling out, you know, if we were to take him to the trails or something. But just for riding around the yard and putting around, he's just fine. But one thing you notice here, this is not factory. I know a lot of people who have done this. He actually welded an additional exhaust on the bottom here because it is a pretty loud machine. These things come from the factory pretty noisy. And, oh yeah, one thing, underneath we have the Bandit springs. The factory springs are really soft, so he went ahead and put the Bandit springs on there. I couldn't ask for a more equipped machine. I mean, if you're gonna buy one of these things, you will probably end up doing all that stuff anyways, so it just worked out that way, man. It had all this stuff done to it that I would want to do to it. As you can see too, it has a 2-inch receiver, so we can tow up to like 1,500 pounds, and just around the farm and stuff, you can tow a trailer and use it to haul firewood, so it's still a functional machine. But it is in the sport category, so this thing is quick. It definitely gets up and moves, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Taking it to Wayne this weekend, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully this thing doesn't blow up. I know a lot of you are brand specific out there, so I'm willing to give new things a try. Like I said, I heard good things, so we will see what happens with the Wildcat Trail.